we're introducing a new topic, and that topic is how to talk to people. Because we've been so isolated coming out of this pandemic, and we do so much of our communication from the safety of behind the screen, that when you are face-to-face to people, it can be scary as trying to start and maintain conversations, especially if you don't know those people. So we have some cool tips for you guys to initiate conversations.
We want to start it with, you want to ask questions that inspire follow-up questions.
You know how you could say, hey, how are you? There's only really one acceptable answer to that, and that's fine. Ask questions that have interesting, open-ended answers. So let's say you're at a party and you're like, you know nobody there. So you're kind of left in a corner with your drink looking awkwardly around. So then you actually approach somebody and you say, so hi, how are you? How do you know Denise? And even that's like a pretty boring answer. Well, we met in college. A question you could ask is, if money were no object, what would you do for a living? Or what's your favorite part about your job? Like, what do you love the most about your job? Like, these are kinds of questions that show that you really are interested in that human being. And it gives them so much scope to work with as far as answering you is concerned. It makes them feel special because you're showing a real interest. And those are the kinds of questions that are going to ignite great conversation. And you know what? If they don't give you a great answer, then move on to the next person, because maybe they're introverted, maybe they're shy. There's a million reasons why somebody doesn't give you a great answer that has nothing to do with you and your worthiness.
Definitely open-ended questions. If you ask a yes or no question, you are likely to get a yes or no answer. And I feel like most people don't even think about that when they ask a question. Like, this could be answered with a yes or no. That's all you're going to get because people don't want to elaborate unless they're asked about it.
Yeah, but also like we have this kind of pressure on us that's like, don't take up too much space in the room. So we try to take up as little space as possible, especially women out there. The second tip we have for you that is quite closely related to the first one is in terms of asking these open-ended questions. It's like, okay, well, now you need a source of these kinds of cool questions. Well, so Brainscape is a study app, but it also has flashcards for all kinds of cool and weird subjects like general knowledge, like improving your general knowledge, jokes, and conversation starters. So if you get Brainscape and you download conversation starters, there's a whole bunch of decks of really cool and interesting ideas for questions you can ask people you've just met. So use that as a resource. We do all the time. In fact,
yeah, we did the other night and it was so much fun. We were just sitting at dinner and there was 3 of us, and it's not like we didn't have anything to talk about, but it was fun to ask questions that none of us would have otherwise thought to ask each other.
Yeah.
Lets you get to the bottom of some really cool things.
So that's what it looks like. I don't know if they're reading it backwards or not. But yeah, conversation starters.
You can get them right on your phone.
Yeah.
You can choose to bookmark different cards that like you're going through it by yourself and you're like, oh, I would really like to ask this like the next time I get together with my friends. Just anything.
It's a really cool icebreaker. And the one deck that could be really important for you if you're hanging out with people you don't know is just casual discussion questions.
Why don't you ask me one of them, Thea?
All right, Courtney, who was your first celebrity crush?
Oh, like an easy one. It was Jonathan Taylor Thomas from Home Improvement. Yes, might be showing my age, but swoon.
And if you don't know Home Improvement, this guy did the voice of young Simba in The Lion King, and he was fan. I don't know what he looks like now.
Has anyone heard of him, or are we just...
Whatever happened to Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
Oh, is he like still acting?
Do you see? We just started a conversation. It works. So go get Brainscape and find their conversation starters.
So the next thing that you want to consider is overcome your knowledge insecurities. So
it can be really hard to start or enter conversations if you feel like you don't know a lot about the topic being discussed or just in general. It can be a huge barrier to entry for many people. They feel like I'm not smart enough, or my general knowledge is really crap, or my knowledge of worldly, like current affairs isn't good. So they tend to stay quiet. And the only way to really overcome this is firstly to expose yourself to more worldly information, or to maybe like learn more general knowledge topics, or to read more books, listen to more podcasts. All of these are great resources for conversation topics. And when they come up with people, you will be like, oh, I listened to a podcast on that the other day, and then you can contribute something to it. The other thing to remember is that you don't need to be Einstein to have great conversations. Everybody has their own unique experience on this planet. Everybody has cool interests. You don't need to know a lot about a lot to have great conversations. But if you do want to improve your general knowledge in a really focused, systematized, and like potent way, Brainscape also has a collection of general knowledge flashcards that will test you on everything from like art history, geography, the world's capital cities, you name it.
Also improving your vocabulary.
Yeah,
vocab. So you can learn all kinds of new words that you can throw out at your friends, and they'll be like, what does that mean?
It is all in there, and it'll help you improve your general knowledge and just your general worldly awareness.
And it's free.
It's free.
So
Completely free.
No reason for you not to check it out.
Yeah. There you go. Overcome your knowledge insecurities by improving your knowledge, or just also being aware of the fact that you are a unique and interesting person without all of the bells and whistles.
Yeah. If you can get over the fear too, just asking your friends or whoever you're with a question about whatever the topic is, like that's another way to start a conversation, because if they are more knowledgeable about it, they're likely willing to talk to you about it, and they will talk your ear off sometimes about it. So just ask the question.
That is actually a really great point. I always feel like if I am feeling a bit shy and insecure, I will just ask tons of questions rather than try and showcase what I know about a topic. I'll just ask questions. These are great ways to make a positive impact on the people you talk to.
Agree. That leads us right into our last point, that interested people are interesting people.
Yeah.
So like
interested people are interesting people. When someone is curious about who you are, about what you know, that makes you want to talk to them, right? So you can be that person in the room. You don't have to know anything about anything. But if you ask somebody questions, if you show that you're interested in them, if you are curious about them, they will immediately like you more. You show an interest. Yeah, it's science. It's like psychology. You feel special when people show an interest in you. And so it makes you want to talk to them more. But then you also have to be mindful of what's on the other side of that question, because you can ask a question and then just like instantly stop paying attention because you're like, I did my work. My work here's done. I asked a question. No, you got to pay attention to what they're saying so that you can come up with other questions. Like also important to remember is that if after the third or fourth question, this person is not asking you how you feel about anything, then, you know, maybe you can mosey on over to the snack table and just like let them, you know, on their merry way.
Talk to their next person.
Yeah. You know, because you also deserve for someone to show you some curiosity.
Another thing, when you're out in public or just talking to people in general, you should definitely mind your body language. What you don't say with your body, like, says a lot.
It's the way they speak to you, and it's the body language that can seriously affect the outcome of that interaction. What the hell is that about? You see? What are you looking at me like that for? So there are a couple of things people do, and oftentimes the reason they do it is because they're nervous or they're insecure. They don't make eye contact, you know, they look everywhere but at your eyes or at your face, you know, like that instantly makes you feel like they're impatient. Like they're impatient, their mind is elsewhere, they're not really interested in what you're saying. Eye contact can kind of be hard for a lot of people, so look there. Or look at their cheekbones. You don't have to look into their eyes if it makes you feel uncomfortable. And the other thing is, when you talk to somebody, face them. You know, face them. Because you're turning your back towards somebody, it makes them feel like you're not really interested or engaged with what they have to say. Don't fiddle with your hands. Fiddling with your hands or like crossing your arms looks unapproachable, unfriendly. Smile.
Oh, yes.
Like, you don't have to fake smile. I mean, sometimes you got to fake smile just a little bit. But you know what? Smiling.
A smile never hurt anyone.
Yes. Smiling makes you, it like encourages the person you're speaking to. You know how it feels. I don't even have to explain this to you. Just how you feel when you're talking and someone is like smiling and like engaging and acknowledging you. And
yeah, like when these people give us likes.
Yeah, well, like when people give this video likes, it makes us smile. So those are our tips for engaging people in conversation better, especially strangers, especially if you're socially awkward. If you guys have any tips for what you do when you're at a party and you're like feeling super socially awkward, let us know. Those are the key bits of advice we have for you. And so we hope you have greater, clearer conversations with people, with your friends and with strangers.
Just have fun.
Don't talk to strangers, kids. But if you're an adult and you're in a safe place, we encourage you to get to know the people around you.
Yes.
Cool. All right, y'all.
All right, thanks, guys.
Have a great, great day.
Bye.